nation. We'll bring you more details as we get them. We're moving back home, literally. The Obama administration announcing an expansion to its Making Home Affordable program, a move designed to help homeowners who may not have qualified under the program's initial guidelines. They're really just trying to, keep people in their homes or, help people move on with their lives. My next guest has been working with the administration on its housing initiatives. He is John Taylor. He's back. He's president and CEO of the National Community Reinvestment Coalition. John, good of you to be here.
Good to be back.
I'm going to pick up something where we left off, where Brian left off yesterday, because you were talking about the predatory lending practices that went on during the boom.
Right.
And you essentially said that people who borrowed, not the lender, but the borrower, had nothing to do with the problems that have erupted.
What I said was, I mean, you certainly had people who should have known better, but what I said was what really changed in our financial services system was you could never get a loan 6 years ago in which the loan officer would make you a loan and didn't think you could pay it. That's really the major fundamental change. And it was all spurred by Wall Street saying, make any loans, low documentation, piggyback lending, interest-only loan, all these funny money loans, because they were willing to buy it because they had investors' money they wanted to spend. So that's the fundamental change. And a lot of people believed housing prices would continue going up, they'd be able to refinance. You'd be surprised at how many educated people, middle-class people, got caught up in these kind of loans that appeared because the brokers and lenders were saying they were good loans. So that's what I was trying to say.
Everybody drank the Kool-Aid, though, that home prices would go up forever.
Well, most people trust a lender or a broker. If they're sitting across from them, they think they're actually working for them.
But if you take out a loan that's 9 times your income, you know that that's not sound. You have to know, if you're the borrower, that's not reasonable.
Well, they shouldn't be able to take out a loan. There should be fiscal responsibility on the part of the fiscal agents who are putting the money out there. They should not make money. People are always going to want to get a home, a bigger home, and so on, or take equity out of their house, or whatever it is. People always have that desire. We need ethics and standards in the industry to prevent the kind of lending that's going to that doesn't make financial sense. It'd be great if everybody was incredibly.
That's like saying
it'd be great if we were on all economists, but you know.
But that's like saying liquor store operators are responsible for everybody who has too much to drink.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying there are people who drink too much and they need to be responsible for themselves. I'm not saying that isn't the case. But if liquor store owners opened their doors and they started giving it away, or giving it away at cents on the dollar, or doing things that really pushed it out there to people that shouldn't be getting it, maybe that's more of a comparison. But this isn't buying liquor. This is a complex financial instrument, and we've all been to closings where you have the stack of papers like that. And let's face it, it's a leap of faith for all of us. None of us read all those documents.
Shouldn't be, though. It shouldn't have. It should never have been.
I'm an attorney. Who reads those documents? You read all of those?
Yeah. I was at the closing for a very long time.
You're at a club of one.
Let's move on to the additional efforts that the administration is taking with making home affordable, because there was one thing that stood out to me, that they will pay, and this is regarding short sales and deeds in lieu transactions, which is to preempt a foreclosure. Yeah. They're going to pay not only the servicers $1,500. I say they, the government. Yep. But $1,500, it's $1,000, I believe, to the servicers, $1,500 to the borrowers if they execute a short sale. Yeah. But that's essentially encouraging borrowers to sell their homes without paying their full debt.
Right. So what they're doing.
How is that right? How is that right for the taxpayer money to be used like that? Right.
So how it's right relates to the earlier segment that we had the woman from Miami talking about how sales are up and a lot of them are short sales. We're turning. If we're going to straighten out this economy, at least as it relates to the drag that these mortgages are placing on it, we've got to end the bleeding, stop the foreclosures. And most important of all is stabilize housing prices. As long as they continue to drop, it's not just the person losing the home that's losing money. It's all the neighbors around whose property values are decreased. So the idea is to try to get ahead of the foreclosures. People who can't pay, that's folks that, they're not going to be able to stay in that home. So not everybody's getting a loan. But what happens is even lenders and servicers who want to do that, it takes so long that by the time they get ready to do the short sale, all the values have changed, the terms and conditions have changed, so that the servicer and the lenders are actually in a bad position now than when they first initially.
But why give $1,500 to the homeowner and the borrower?
I think it's primarily to help them actually move out of the property, because they're sitting in this property. They're heading towards foreclosure. They can stay in for another, depending on the state, another month, another 3 months. In New York, it's a year. You know, and the point is, this helps them to move to another, to get out of the house, helps the lender and the servicer and the new borrower be able to find a new borrower.
It's taxpayer dollars, though. One last thing.
It is taxpayer dollars.
Running the Community Reinvestment Coalition.
Yes.
Have you encouraged people to walk?
No.
Like if they're so far underwater, just tell them to walk away from the
look,
house?
You lose your job, you know, I mean, the first thing is you always talk to the lender. You try to get them to see whether the lender wants to work with them. Some people lose their job. They're blue collars. Sometimes they can find a job that's a substitute. But yeah, I mean, some people just, you know, they can't afford their homes.
So you just said leave.
Well, not leave without being irresponsible about it, but work out a workout so that, you know, you leave with your credit intact and you leave to something else that's going to, like you said earlier, help you jumpstart your life.
John, we got to go.
Yeah.
Next time, more time, I promise. John Taylor, National Community Reinvestment Coalition President and CEO. We're trying to right this housing market, even with your taxpayer dollars. Stay with us, everybody. We've got a lot more to break down.